Hello and welcome to my channel. This is what will be my photo props for today's photo, and in this video the photo is for Instagram, and that is what this video will be about. I'm going to be sharing some of my top secret Instagram tips for growth, for maintaining a cohesive feed, how to get creative photo ideas, basically geeking out on all things Instagram and sharing some of the nitty-gritty details that maybe usually is the kind of advice that you don't maybe find out there. It's usually very generic, so I just thought I'd do this video, and we're gonna do this photo. I'm gonna try to resist to eat these donuts before the photo is done. So sit back, relax, grab a snack, and let's get right into the video. Usually I always sketch out my photos before I take them, but I feel like this is a photo I've taken already. This is like a series I do with this like bicycle forced perspective one, so I don't think I have to sketch this out. Nah, I'm just gonna go with it. But I am going to share my first tip right here by this table, which is to basically spend more time creating and less time looking at the numbers. I think it's so easy to fall into the trap of staring at the numbers blindly, and I fall into that trap also all the time, my friends, right there in that hole with you. But I think the best way to beat that is just to spend more time and your effort and energy in creating and really getting committed to taking photos that are more true to you, are more original and unique, and you'll find your style. And if there is anything that you should be looking at, is in getting inspired and soaking up like a sponge things to try and just figuring out what it is that you'd like to be sharing. Obviously, this is also going to depend what you're on Instagram for. If it is to build some kind of a business or kind of a brand, or if it's just more as a hobby, then kind of how much you obsess about it is up to you. I have obsessed about it a lot, which I'm not always proud to admit, but then again, I do think that it requires a little bit of obsessing if you really want to build something that has a strong foundation, and also if you want to improve quicker, then the more time you spend thinking about it and the more photos you'll snap and the more things you try out, the more information you'll have, and you'll get more experience and grow faster. So there is that. I'm going to switch to this camera because we have to wrap this baby up because we're going to go out and take the photo. One of my top tips now that I've found really helpful, and I see other people also using it, is to post carousels. So basically you'll post multiple photos. That is just such a good way because then your photo will turn up once in a person's feed or a follower's feed, but then if you have many one, then also that second or third photo can also pop up like so multiple times. So you have like many times to get that like from that person. Okay, I just realized I don't have any straws. Usually I will make the straw into like the bicycle, like the frame, what do you call it? So I have to probably go and try to find that in our local store. I'm in Helsinki, by the way. At the moment, I'm going back to London on Saturday. But now I'm still here, so I'm taking my chances and doing some photos. Even though it's sunny outside, it's like ridiculously cold, so I think I'm gonna go with this coat. And my next tip is to post in portrait format, so 4x5. So instead of posting photos that are square, you'll post in 4x5, because then that is the way you'll take up the most space on the feed when people are scrolling. So you'll have the most, possibility to grab people's attentions, which brings me to the second or the fourth one, the tip. Basically to really, really focus on your compositions and making them reducing clutter, basically, like making it very clear what it is that is going on in your photo. So that means if you're going for symmetry and something is in the center, really center it. And if you have an idea and you feel like, oh, maybe it got a little messy, there's a lot of different elements, then reduce the elements or make it really focus on what is the core of your idea. I see this time and time again, like for the photo, there's been an idea, but then there's, this a temptation to add, and then there's like, and especially if you use Photoshop, it can be easy to kind of get carried away. So really try to think, this is obviously just my opinion, but I try to think that less is more, and just trust that your idea in its simplicity and to its core, like really trying to hone in on that. Okay. All right, let's put these in the box.
so we are going to talk about a little bit more about Instagram growth and how, if you're sort of in the beginning or if you'd like to just grow your account, then obviously things like being consistent, like showing up, but like posting on a consistent basis is one thing, and also just trying to really focus on finding your thing and what it is that you have to offer. I'm kind of looking at sometimes somebody is standing here smoking, and then it's very embarrassing if I'm talking at the same time. I think especially in the beginning, it's maybe more important that you kind of post quite frequently, and then after a while you can maybe more focus on quality. And I tried for some time to really post like daily, and but then at the moment I've just scaled that down, because with the YouTube stuff and also with the photos I take now, I feel like I'm a little bit maybe stuck in a rut of being very overly critical. So for me to post something, I have to like really I don't know, but basically I've just accepted that. So I do post now like 2 to 4 times a week, I think. And this will also depend. It's not like, I don't think in order to grow, I don't think you actually have to post every day. But maybe in the beginning, it's good to just try out an experiment and see what works for you. Okay, let's go see if we can get some straws from this little shop we have just around the corner. Okay, I went to the other store and woo! Success! We have paper straws. 100. So I won't probably not anytime soon. Okay, I already found one wall or one building that was pretty promising, but I think it's too busy here. There's like tram tracks, so I don't want to put myself in that kind of danger. And
hello there. Just jumping in here, this is from the next day, but I felt there is something I need to add in here before we move on, which is to use your Instagram analytics smartly. It so happens that you can go into Instagram and you can click those 3 lines, and then you go to Insights and you press Content. And in there, you can ask Instagram to organize your content in the way what got most engagement, for example, in the last year. Or you can also choose likes or reach. And this is such a good tool and such a little secret weapon, because then you can see which photos have done best, and you can put on your analyzing glasses and see if there is something in common with these photos that they have, like why have they resonated, why have they done so much better. And this is something that I've used a lot, and I still go in and look at it, because it's really interesting, because you'll get so concrete visual information. And this is especially good if you are trying to grow your Instagram account and get better photos that, okay, so this is really important, that especially do well on Instagram. This doesn't mean that if a photo is not performing so well, that it's somehow a worse photo. It just might be that it's not super great for Instagram, because I think there are very specific things that you can use on Instagram, and I'll share some of my secrets. So I went in and I checked the photos that have done the best in the last year of mine, and I could see some common things. So one was, for example, that they all have a very clear composition. You can immediately see more or less the shape and what is going on in the photo. So they have like a kind of unicolor background, and then there's some elements. They also all have quite clear textures, so the table has the wooden cracks, and the knits have their own knitted texture. They all have kind of a muted color palette, which I think it just goes to say that when you choose colors, like I said before, to not have too many colors, like all of the colors, but kind of choose a few colors that go together quite nicely. Whew, okay, I spoke so fast and a lot, but I hope that made sense. Back to the studio back to the street, back to the Kika from yesterday, and I'll meet you here soon again.
I got some questions how to plan a cohesive feed, and I always try to have like a few kind of key colors that I have in my photos. So right now, because we're going into spring, I'm thinking like pastels and quite like light colors, and before in autumn I would have like more warm tones, just to have like a basic kind of guide of what colors that you are having in your feed at the moment, so then they will sort of match better.
Okay, as usual, I spent way too much time to try to find a location, but I think this is finally it. My next tip is if you want to plan your feed so that it all looks nice, you can use apps like, for example, there's Unum and Mosaic that I've used to plan my feed beforehand. So you import the photos there and then you can see how it will look. Also, I saw
On Pinterest, if you go, there's all kinds of these kind of themes, Instagram themes that you can use. And basically, you go into Instagram. I'll show some pictures here, and there it said like VSEO themes. Sorry, VSEO themes. And there it said like how they edited the photos to get that look. So if there's a particular look you like, then you can just go in there and then edit all your photos according to that, and then you'll basically have a cohesive look on your feed. Okay, it's like ridiculously cold and my fingers they're all red. So I didn't film that much behind the scenes, but we're gonna go back inside. I'm gonna start editing the photos and we're gonna continue this little video and maybe have a hot cup of coffee or tea. Can you see my t-shirt? How cool is that? Hello! It is the second day now, or the next day of this video. Yesterday when I got home, I was just so cold and it was getting really dark, so then I just decided to edit the photo a little bit but continue the video today, and I have done some editing of the photo and I think it's gonna turn out pretty nice if I say so myself, even though I have to work on it a little bit more. But let's get back to the tips and back to the video. The next tip is to really focus on the caption. So I think the caption is still a part of the whole Instagram post. So instead of just having a few lines or just putting some emojis, use the caption to tell something about the photo. And one really great way is to engage people and ask some questions. It's always really interesting to hear who it is, these people that are following you, or if it's your friend and family, just to kind of reaching out and make it a dialogue instead of you just broadcasting. So that's a really good way. Okay, I don't know, do I have any more points actually? Oh yeah, and then one last one that I want to share with you is that if you're building a visual profile or a brand, or if you'd like to become a content creator, repeat yourself. That is actually, I think, really good to build your style, and so that people kind of know what to expect from you. So one thing that I've done in the past was I kind of flip-flop between styles. When something wasn't really working, I thought, okay, maybe I should do like this fashion stuff and this kind of very mundane photos. When that didn't really work, I thought, okay, maybe I'll switch to, you know, a very different color palette or a very moody one. So just because something maybe is not taking off or doesn't work immediately doesn't mean that it's anything wrong with it. Maybe you just have to stick with it for a while so people will know what to expect from you. And when you then find something that you see like, oh, this resonates, take that with you, and then you can repeat that and have series of photos. So if you look at my account, I have so many of the same, very similar type of photos that I just do again and again, but they always improve. They're always a little bit different, even though the basic concept is the same. So I think for the longest time, I had like this fear of like, no, I can't repeat myself and do the same thing. I always have to have something new idea to like dazzle people. But actually, no, on the contrary, I think most of us, we follow a lot of accounts. So then if one account is all the time different, like who is this? I don't know, I can't remember this person. But if you kind of know what type of content it is that you can expect, then that is the way I think you build a brand. And yeah, also build that trust and just kind of that people will remember you, hopefully. Okay, I'm currently sitting here editing this photo. I don't think I'll get it ready for tonight, but I will show you the end result anyway. So here it is. Ta-da! I hope you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed these tips and they were useful for you. If you like this video, then please subscribe and like it, and also comment below if you found it helpful. That would mean so much to me. And if you'd like to see more of my stuff, come say hi. I'm over at Kika on Instagram. Okay, take care, you guys. Bye!
There's a bee in my bonnet, hello, hello. A bee in my bonnet, hello. There's a bee in my bonnet, hello, hello. A bee in my bonnet, hello.